What was the most amount of money that you ever made in a single year? If there was one year that was your best year, what was that year?
A lot.
In the 7 digits?
Yes.
Okay. Can you say, or it's totally
No,
up to you? Okay.
no.
No worries.
Problem is, I'm pretty close to this location here. I've got a business.
I got you.
I have
Yeah.
5 locations:
For sure.
Barton Creek, Lakeway, Los Angeles, downtown Austin, and I know a lot of these people out here.
If you were to go back to when you were in either high school or college, and you're having a conversation with, let's say, your 20-year-old self, what is the best piece of advice that you would tell your younger self?
I've been out in high school for 2 years by then, and I apparently, are you asking me what courses I would take?
What advice would you tell your younger self? What do you wish that you would have known then that you know now?
Well, I would say, first of all, college degree is important, but it's not imperative.
What do you mean by that exactly?
Well, I think in this country you can start a business. You can go to the SBA, you can borrow $200,000 or $300,000, and if you have a thing that you like to do, you can start it. I did not finish University of Texas. I started a company 50 years ago with $67. We're the largest company in town at what we do. Did not finish school. It really has to do with what is your background with your family. Were they in business? Were they work for the state? Because you get a mindset as to where you came from, and if you want to get outside that box, you've got to get away and do whatever you want to do.
What was the company that you ultimately created?
I created Wharton Insurance Company, and we're on the corner up here where the stop sign is, 50 years ago, last month. And it's insurance. And so everybody finds a widget that works for them, but you work 14 hours a day for a lot of years. You can build anything. And money is easy to borrow to get started. You just don't mind working 13, 14 hours a day.
And what advice would you tell someone who's starting a business in today's world?
I would have to talk to them to see who they are. Are they a bookworm? Are they outgoing? Are they an athlete? What makes them tick? Because you got to use your personality to grow yourself and your business. And there's a lot of things. You can do anything, and if you spend enough time on it, you can make it work. College education, that generally throws you into a list of places, the Dells, the places like that. Once you've graduated from college, you usually go that direction. And starting your own business is a different ballgame.
It's amazing. Just 2 or 3 last questions for you. I wanted to ask you, what was the biggest thing that you implemented throughout your business that enabled you to scale it? What is your advice to someone who's trying to scale their business, whether it's in terms of capital or people? What is the biggest thing that you've seen that really allows people to kind of grow and scale their business?
Well, you have to profile who you are, because I could say one thing and it wouldn't fit your profile. Okay, you may not be an outgoing person. You may need to do a business that doesn't require you to be out front all the time. So I wouldn't be able to give you a perfect answer on that. So repeat the question and I'll give you what I think would fit a model. So what was your question of me?
How can someone scale their business in today's world? What was the biggest thing that you implemented throughout your company to ultimately scale it to the point it got to?
Well, first of all, I bring people in to work for me and I help them be successful. And I help them with their living and I pay them as much as I can. And I treat them as if they're me and not just an employee. You'll find that people will work better for you and be more felt of reward if you do that. So we have people that have been working for me 20 or 30 years. And you can't run a business and make it larger without the right people. Is that correct?
Yeah, for sure. It's incredible. I got one last question for you then. What is the biggest mindset change that is needed in order to become a multimillionaire?
Humbleness. If you do everything right, it all takes care of itself. And if you live right and you believe there's a guy upstairs that takes care of you and you live down that channel, then a lot of good things come to you that you didn't even know were coming to you. All right?
I love that. How can someone start their path to becoming wealthy in 2023? Or in today's world, how can someone really become financially free? Whether it's a skill set, a mindset, an attribute to have when going out into the real world, how can someone start that path?
Well, first of all, you should not try to say, I want to become wealthy. That takes care of itself if you do the other thing. You don't ever look forward to that. You just live one day at a time and run your operation, your life, and all that. I never look to make the kind of income I have, okay? I would have gladly had half. So don't ever go that direction because it will drive you in the wrong direction and you will probably be done to do some things that may be unscrupulous to get there.
A better way to ask that would be, what's your best financial advice to the younger generation that maybe you wish someone told you coming out of school?
Well, again, you have to find out what you're made of. I mean, are you an outgoing guy? Are you going to open a restaurant? Are you going to go to work for Dell? You have to decide who you are. You work for Dell, you make a couple $100,000 a year if you're up in their echelon, and you enjoy your life. If you want to go into business, then you have to decide what are you interested in, and then you decide how do you build that. Then you go find out from other people that have done it. And frankly, I never never had any money, so I couldn't go borrow a lot of money. So I went into a business that didn't require a lot. So there's no right answer. And I'll say that SBA will loan you $300,000 to go into business. They do a little better for the women than they do the men. But if you want to go in business, then they put a 30-year loan there with a 5% interest or something. And so that is not a deterrent then to go into business. The problem is you can go through $300,000 and not done a good job on what you're using. So here we are in the great state of Texas, United States. Live your life according to God's preaching and reward Him all along the way. You'll probably be successful.
I love that. Any advice to someone starting a business this year?
I just told you what I'd say.
Yeah.
Same answer.
Okay.
Take your business seriously. Don't take yourself too seriously, and serve your customer.
Love that.